get me going.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, let's get back to you. Let's get back to Christine Ivinjack
Yes.
and her campaign.
Do you
Where?
do you have a website and stuff, contact information, or
No.
Facebook?
I'm on Facebook personally.
Okay. Well, how can people
and my
get in touch with you?
business, and they can find me.
Okay.
I do.
JP's here. He's laughing.
Yeah.
Well, they need to know your name.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, don't forget, I hear from write-in candidates, I don't know if this is true, maybe you can educate me, but I understood from write-in candidates that if you do not fill in the little hole, the little, circle, and the name,
Correct.
that one of them is missing, you can't get the vote.
That's right.
That's right.
If you're voting, if you're writing in, folks, remember now, if you're writing in for any candidate
Still
on
have to
this
circle
ticket,
a little orb thing.
little
the
circle
sphere,
orb,
the,
and then the name, or
that's
you lose
the thing
vote.
that checks. The machine doesn't know what the name is. The machine only knows where the vote was cast,
Yeah.
and it has to associate those things.
Yes.
So they have to go do some counting. And
Good.
You want to make sure you do that the right way.
I don't care if they're there all night counting. They
Yes.
will count every single one of them.
Good. So,
Well, there should be good turnout. There should be good turnout.
And
and-
don't-
There is in the general. It's crazy how many more people show up. And like you said earlier, the primary is so much more important. But if they get out and vote, we'll get them the next time around.
Merrimack, New Hampshire, in the 2012 elections, we had 18,000 people turn out. Largest single
Holy
polling
moly.
turnout in the country because we were one
Holy
polling place.
moly.
18,000 people. That's like
In
every
Merrimack?
single registered voter in my town, plus all the people the Democrats brought in.
That's a lot of people.
I mean, there were people. There are only like about 18,000 registered voters in my town, 25,000, and they all. It's like everybody went. Everybody showed up for that election,
So, Christine,
and then
Well, either
primary.
everybody
You're lucky
showed,
if you get 2,000 people.
Yes,
yeah,
right.
I know.
either everybody showed up, or 3/4 of them showed up, and the rest of them crossed the border from
No,
Massachusetts.
well, a lot of them were
No.
family members that came and voted in town,
Oh,
you know,
my.
and so there was. We couldn't really pin. We found a few OFA
Unbelievable.
non-resident voters, but nobody we could really nail. We do have a lot of those, and we have some great vote fraud news coming up in the next week or so. Ed was going to drop
Yeah.
by, but he didn't make it anyway. So
Christine, I have a question. You had like 5 candidates. How many of those make it on? How many? Because it's
We have
the top
3
how many?
seats in that.
3.
Yeah.
So the top 3 of what? 6 candidates?
There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us, including me. That's
7,
right.
including you. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a doable thing if you get your folks out enough to know to write your name in on that ballot.
Yeah, because I had it, JP, I think we called because my name is so different. I wanted to make sure that if they spelled it wrong or
Yes.
something was different, it's still fine. It's the intent of
Oh,
who
okay,
they're
good.
voting for.
Well, that got proven
Good.
in 2010 in Alaska, actually, when it's my daddy's seat. Murkowski got reelected through a write-in,
Yes.
and they allowed all sorts of misspellings of her name.
Yes. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I thought that wasn't
Murkowski.
Yes.
Murkowski.
Yeah.
So I was just
Moo.
worried about that, so we made sure.
Murkowski. Wait, I think I have Murkowski. Wait. There we go. Okay. So what are the big issues? I know you guys had problems with police chiefs in Ware a lot.
Oh, God.
I
Yeah,
mean,
what's
that's-
with that? I mean, really, what is with?
It's not the first time. It's not the first time.
So what's going on with Ware police chiefs?
Oh, my God.
Is this going to take up too much time? Should we talk about something else?
No, I'm not very confident in our whole process of who we're getting in here. I mean, we used to have it up to the voters, and the voters would do that. We did away with that
Of course we did.
That was ridiculous.
Well,
So
you know
we
why
said-
they went to voters, right? Because the police chief they had was a tyrant, and the only way to get rid of him was to go have the voters vote him out, which is why they went in there in the first place.
Right.
And now we've got another problem where it's the people. Really, it turns out to be the voters and the message and who controls that whole arrangement. That's why you keep getting bad chiefs.
Absolutely, because we take it away from the people because we didn't think they were smart enough
Yeah, right.
to vote for somebody, so we gave it to our selectmen and all them, and this is what happens, and
never bodes well.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's a total nightmare, and it's sad because I wish we could get some good direction in there and have somebody actually do a good job without baggage.
We've had a few bad police chiefs in New Hampshire, so it's not just Ware, but
We just see the ones that are in the news all the time lately.
Yeah.
I don't
Interesting.
know what's going on.
How many people? What's your population in Ware?
It's a little over 8,000.
Okay.
And so it's like
Yep,
Philadelphia. You have 10,000 people vote on election.
Yeah. I think we had 1,000 people on primary. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
So you might get 3 or 4.
I was so disappointed in the turnout. It's terrible. So hopefully the general will be a lot better.
Well, you'd think in a way
I'm
of here,
hoping.
you hope the Democrats don't show up.
Well,
I mean, they're the ones who are supposed to be down this year. I mean, it's not supposed to be their election, but New Hampshire's, the vice chair of the Democrat National Committee is their state committee chairman. So, he has the resources, he has the influence, he has the mechanics, he has the technology, and he's very good at what he does. Ray Buckley, for good or bad, is very accomplished at the position he has been assigned, and the Republicans have never respected the threat that represents to the state. I don't think. And we keep electing clowns and people who are there because it's their turn or because somebody picked them, and we get the same results.
Yes.
I mean, the only reason we ever do relatively well is because the grassroots rises up, and votes for the right people.
Well, that's why we need to make a change. People need to get out. I've heard more often than, oh, I don't like this person or I don't like what's going on. I said, did you vote? No? Well, then shut up.
right.
Because it's people like you. We need to get you guys out there. Because if you have a concern and you're truly worried about what's going on, get involved.
And people don't understand, too, that they can actually, they don't have to vote. It's not a choice of voting down the card or not voting at all.
Absolutely.
But you can actually choose who you agree with and who you want to vote for on that ballot. And for that reason, people shouldn't just throw the privilege away to vote.
You don't have to vote for every race. You don't have to. I mean, you
people
show
don't
up.
understand that. I'm shocked at the
No,
number
they
of voters
really-
that I have spoken to.
I would
that
rather
don't
you went out and
consider-
voted for local candidates and state-level
gosh, yes.
candidates. Screw the federal candidates. They're not interested in anything that's good for New Hampshire anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Right. Yeah,
Susan has said a lot of what we talk about a long time. Screw D.C., save New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And really, that's what we talk about. I mean, we talk about
That
the
is so
federal
true.
candidates because they affect the local economy. But ultimately, you need to think locally.
Yes.
Because
Right now,
Absolutely.
especially, we're in trouble. If we do not have strong states' rights right now, if we are not going to back keeping New Hampshire strong against the encroaching federal government that's coming in and ruining our country, then we've got nothing. We're on a circle for growing government like we have never seen, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah, we need the state governments to stand up, and we need enough of them to band together to say to the federal government, we're not going to pay your game anymore. Not
Absolutely.
play, pay.
And Maggie Hassan's never going to do that.
No.
You may not love Walt Havenstein, but without a Republican governor, we are going to be left to the wolves in D.C.
And by the way,
very true.
that is the other reason why Mike Pence was here yesterday. Not only was he here to support Merrill Linder, and I have video of his speech, he's also here to support Walt Havenstein. And I say we may or may not be equivocal about Walt and some of the things he said, but the man is at least a Republican, and he's fiscally responsible.
Oh, my God. I can't believe that you said that he's a Republican. Oh, okay. Fiscally responsible, we can maybe go with. But you know what? That our thing's got to go. They haven't serviced us. They have hurt us. They keep lowering that frickin' bar. That bar is almost in the gutter right now. So don't ever say that. I mean, the fact is I do believe that he is more fiscally responsible. I can go with that.
So we can call him semi-conservative, but we shouldn't call him a Republican because it's a damaged brand.
It certainly is. I mean, what does that mean anymore?
Maybe we should just call him a Sununu Republican.
Well, he is, isn't he? He is. That's how he got in.
I mean, the establishment Republican thing maybe it's worn itself out. Maybe it doesn't have
And
enough
isn't
weight
that-
anymore.
That is the sadness of this whole thing, because here we had a new guy, and when people say, well, he's going to be better, we don't know that. Okay, this is the thing that
That's
really
true.
hurts, because he has not served in a political arena before. And here's what I think about Walt Havenstein. And by the way, I like him as a person. I've met him many, many times, okay? He's an okay. But listen, he is a CEO. He thinks as a CEO, and right now he believes that his board members are the members of the political machine here in New Hampshire. What Walt Havenstein does not understand is that his board members are us. They're the folks that are going to vote for him. They're the folks that are going to support him. It's not the political machinery that has bolstered him.
If he pleases the political machinery, then that will get him money. but he has to sell himself to the public in order to get the vote.
Well, and you know what? Sell might be a dirty word, but the truth is that's what happened to the campaign. Here was a candidate that maybe would have been a good Republican governor candidate, right? They stole that from us. They stole the ability for us to understand what he stood for because they pushed so hard for his candidacy here in New Hampshire.
And by the way, he also has a problem. And I'm going to call it protective minion complex or protective minion syndrome, PMS. I have spoken to him personally twice since his primary victory, and he has said he will do an interview with me because I think he does need to sell himself to the grassroots, and I want to at least have him in his own words. He can live or die by his own words.
He does it in small private rooms. I sat in them.
But his
Christine, did you want to ask them any questions?
Yeah, his press secretary never gets in touch with me.
No.
Sorry, back to Christine, who is why we are here.
By the way, if she gets elected, she gets to be a delegate, and you get to vote.
There you go.
And
so that's another reason.
And we may get to change the party machine. And sorry, we all went off on a rant because
it's
it's about the party
She only
damaging
has like a minute left.
So
Don't
Christine,
steal her minute.
Tell us what you're going to do. You're going to fight for small business. You're going to cut regulations.
Yes.
Tell us all the stuff that's in your political philosophy.
She doesn't have that much time.
And how we can get hold of you.
I don't have.
What's the
phone
best?
number or Facebook page?
What's the best way to get hold of you? If you don't have a campaign website, how about your personal Facebook page, a phone number where
Look
they can
me
reach
up
you?
on Facebook.
We don't have time for a caller. We're leaving. We're going off the air in a minute. So
hang on,
he's
just
going to go do his thing. I'm going to do this anyway. Go ahead, quick.
Go to my personal Facebook page, Christine Ivinjack. You'll know
that
everything about me. It's Ivinjack. All my information is on there. I check it. My business is on there also. You can find me either way.
All right. Awesome. Because we're ready to end, isn't it? It was a robocall.
Do you have a favorable opinion of President Barack Obama?
Oh my
Should have answered
God.
him. Should have put it on the air. Oh, I would have gone long for that.
I got that phone call 2 days ago.
I just went, wah.
Oh no, that would have been awesome.
That's
Next time, if they
awesome.
call back, we're gonna interrupt whoever's here. I don't care. I'll come off break for that. That's too funny. Christine, thank you so much for coming in and almost getting interviewed.
You got interviewed.
I appreciate the effort.
Thank you for having me.
You joined in our rant, so that's even better.
All right, I'm Steve
sorry.
McDonald here with a whole room full of people. We'll be right back with Guy Comtois to hopefully have an interview with him. We'll be right back.
And in honor of our
New Hampshire is famous for scenic drives, but they're tough to enjoy when you're on your way to the doctor. Because Obamacare limits your choices, some will have to drive more than an hour to see a doctor. What's health insurance worth if care isn't there when you need it? Jean Shaheen voted for Obamacare, putting your doctors and hospitals further out of reach. Tell Senator Shaheen, Obamacare is not working for New Hampshire.
She tried to make us believe she was a fiscal conservative, but State Senator Nancy Stiles has been deceiving New Hampshire taxpayers. Like a wolf in sheep's clothing, she claimed to be one of us, pretending to blend in, but all along voting like a liberal Democrat. She voted to raise your gas tax by another 23%, taking a bigger bite out of our wallets every time we're at the pump. And oh, how she drooled at the opportunity to vote to expand Obamacare, which will result in higher taxes and longer wait times in the emergency room. And now the Senate wants to pass a bill to prevent us from criticizing Senator Stiles' vote. Call Senator Stiles at 603-918-0553 and tell her that we're on to her wolf in sheep's clothing routine. Tell her to stop pretending to be a fiscal conservative and start voting like one. Paid for by Citizens for a Strong New Hampshire.
This is a coalition of New Hampshire taxpayers. We're located at 8 North Main in Concord, New Hampshire. This is the repository for all things conservative and municipal. So if you have a problem in your town, your school, your budget committee, the right to know law, and now at the top of our list is voter fraud. You have a tip for us, some information for us, you want to join or help us out, cnht.org.